So in British Columbia, the result was a very close vote. It was the NDP just squeaking by with one seat more than the Conservatives.
Yeah, it's like 47 to 44. They have like a bare majority. People say I got that one wrong. I'll still have people say, like, you said the Conservatives were going to win. I'm like, hey, I said 75% shot in my head they're going to win the most seats. And it literally came within 200 votes in 3 ridings.
Yeah, so that's a close guess.
I am okay with being wrong to that extent.
Fair enough. But now the Conservative Party is just completely imploded.
Yeah, now they only have 41 seats, and it's because they decided that let's unlearn all the lessons that we should have learned from the BC United Party. Let's just become the party for everybody by saying nothing particularly interesting, sticking to extremely easy issues that anyone would argue our side of it for. And they kicked out Dallas Brody, the Conservative MLA or former Conservative MLA for the riding of Vancouver-Quilchena, for saying that there was not 215 dead children under the Kamloops residential school, which is just a fact. It's just a fact at this point. Oh, they haven't dug, so they don't know. They're not digging because they probably don't want to find out they're wrong. And they kicked her out, and then rightfully, 2 other MLAs followed her out, Jordan Keeley and Tara Armstrong. And now the party the funny thing about it, and the reason that this is relevant right now, is that they kicked out Dallas Brody for supposedly disrespecting people, for supposedly disrespecting survivors of residential schools. And right now we have a artificial scandal from the lefty media and the Liberal Party trying to go after a federal Conservative candidate on Vancouver Island, Aaron Gunn. Quite a good candidate, very good documentarian before he got into politics. And they're going after him for the exact same issues. Residential school denialism, saying insensitive things for just being correct. You know, maybe they find one post where he could have said something slightly better, but I hate that stuff. Tone policing people into trying to cancel them.
Yeah. So let's just agree. This is cancel culture. This is the idea.
It's obviously stupid. Nobody thinks that this is proper. But then Rusted, who threw Dallas Brody under the bus at Mach speed for being correct and on a podcast, she didn't even think it was a recorded podcast. She said something that if you only clipped it for 3.5 seconds and you made up the context, it looked like she might have been being rude to people. She wasn't. They picked up thing about her saying your truth, my truth, and she was mocking postmodernist people who were attacking her.
Right.
But Rusted is currently defending Aaron Gunn for his comments. 3 weeks after, he again fed Dallas Brody under 18 wheels.
Right. So rightfully so, he's coming to the aid of Aaron Gunn, but he didn't come to the aid of Dallas Brody. In fact, threw her under the bus.
And that's why I find the situation so gross. All these people knew better when they were letting Dallas Brody get attacked by the leftists of the NDP and the media, and then having an internal caucus struggle session against her. Oh, you should delete your posts. You're being insensitive. Dallas is doing her job as the Attorney General critic. She was standing up for lawyers who are being attacked by the Law Society of BC for not affirming what was an untruth in their mandatory teaching materials, saying that there's 215 dead children under the Kamloops residential school.
Well, let's just touch on this real quick because maybe people don't know the story of the residential school. Give us your 15-second or your 30-second what happened.
Well, everyone remembers back in 2021 in Canada, the picture of Justin Trudeau kneeling down in the field of unmarked graves in Kamloops. Supposedly, the band had announced that they had found through ground-penetrating radar a bunch of anomalies in the soil, and this might be a bunch of unmarked graves. It's been later found that it's more likely to be an actual septic field that they have the old plans for that line up perfectly with where they're saying all these anomalies are. But we put all the flags to half-mast for over 180 days or something like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a long, long time.
Yeah, it was. And so we start basically, there's this whole reckoning that Canada's an evil, genocidal place. Look, they had killed, through mass extermination, 215 children at the Kamloops residential school. It's just not true. And after all that time, the Kamloops band actually, originally the RCMP were going to investigate, and then they were basically pressured into not investigating because, well, what you guys are going to go and try and disprove these people. And then it's gone from other sorts of, it was like some other groups that were supposed to investigate it. Now it's gotten down to the band. They got $8 million to investigate this thing. They have not uncovered anything. In fact, they haven't even tried. And it's still, for some reason, in the year 2025, wrong to even say that they haven't found anything. It's like, it's just one of those, I don't even know what you would call it. It's just one of those politically correct facts that you need to know, that there's 215 kids.
The interesting part about this whole story, so, John Rustad comes to the aid of one of the federal conservatives, throws under the bus one of the provincial conservatives. The party's like really falling apart, don't know what's going on there. And meanwhile, apparently Mark Carney's dad had some words to say about residential schools back in the day. I wish we had the clip. Have you seen that? It's been circling around.
I haven't seen the clip. I've seen the reporting that he was like a really big like he was on like the side of like residential schools of like actual cultural engineering kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like because like the National Post
like what people actually accuse the schools of doing. He was a proponent for that.
And again, is Mark Carney guilty of that? Obviously not, and I would never hold it against him. But we live in a world where if Pierre Poilievre knew a guy who knew a guy's uncle who did something wrong, they would be talking about how he's such an evil, nasty person and he can't be prime minister because of it.
But that's politics, right?
Yeah.
That's just how politics works.
Yeah, that's what I think in the back of my head whenever I see that like Dallas Brody gets so mistreated, and then you see everyone standing up for Aaron Gunn, and they should stand up for Aaron Gunn. They should just also stand up for Dallas Brody because she not only didn't do anything wrong, she was doing something noble. But because she was doing something noble and taking on what we can probably call the reconciliation industry, people who don't actually care about reconciliation, they don't actually care about Native people, even if they're Native themselves. They don't care. These are the same people who have been in favor of safe supply. They're the same people who have been in favor of basically blocking every single natural resource project that like would actually get a lot of Indigenous Canadians jobs. But they stand up for reconciliation insofar as that they're consultants and lawyers and chiefs' families who can get a lot of money from signing land deals using things like Kamloops as a catalyst, not to criticize them while they're making massive demands. So we have like the BC government unsealing land deals that they had made without the public knowing for like $86 million over a reserve where only 250 people live there. And they now have like, and the thing is, it's not even good for Indigenous people. Everyone, it's basically like these reserves are run like the Soviet Union. It's like a Soviet state. You can't, even if you're Indigenous living there, you can't just start your own logging company. You have to get permission for everything.
No kidding. Yeah.